Hello everyone, my name is Kelsey Garcia of Garcia Productions. My model Alexis Ferreira and I are in Providence at Sydney, where we are doing an instant camera photo challenge. This was very different from working with a DSLR because you need to really focus on what is in your shot more. So Lexi had keys in her pocket that I had to clear out, and I definitely had to focus on what was in my background, what was in my composition, a lot more than if I was using a DSLR, because you can take a shot, look at your shot, and clear out your background, or you can Photoshop it out, where with an instant camera you can't do that because the little piece of film comes out of your camera immediately. I found this exercise so interesting because it wasn't about what my camera settings were, it was all about the composition. The only settings that were even on that camera was like cloudy, partly cloudy, indoor, outdoor. So it was definitely focused on posing my model and making sure what I had in my frame was what I wanted. I gave Lexi a few very general poses to do and let her kind of take her own spin on it and give it her own flair. The biggest thing that I was concerned about was making sure that there was no chairs in the way, so I had to move a lot of chairs a lot. I did like them in the foreground a little bit, which made it interesting, like this shot, but it was very hard to just make sure that we weren't getting in people's way because we were at a restaurant during their business hours. So we finally got our third shot, and I did want to use a little bit more of the space, so we flipped it around, used another location. We moved away from the window, which did change the lighting quite a bit, and this instant camera isn't a camera where I could put in some settings. So the camera would totally compensate for what it was lacking in light with the flash. And with that, it did change the way the pictures looked. For this next photo, I noticed that bar would be a really cool leading line because I was on one end of it, she was towards the end of it, and it would kind of guide your eye towards my subject. So I had her lean on one of the bar stools as if it were a table itself. So we weren't able to see these photos until after they developed, but to let them develop, we put them face down on the ledge, the one by the window, and that allowed for light to hit the back of them, but not the front, to not destroy the photos, and then we saw them afterwards after the entire shoot was done. We had a lot that we were able to play with at Sydney, and with that we had the wall art, we had the different lighting, we had the stools that we moved around. We even ordered a tea and used that as a prop because it really fit the scenery well. And I had the label facing out the entire time, which was a little silly because after I looked at the photos I realized that the flash was going off and you couldn't even see it because it was drowned out. Overall, this was just a very fun exercise. It helps a lot with composition and posing, and I suggest that every photographer does it. So thank you so much to Sydney Providence for letting us use your space, as well as to Lexi for being an amazing model.